Many summers ago, when Cachen the Mantis created the moon, it was so close that the Bushmen could see the winged gods and other people on it. They came from the stars, and the old man pointed towards Orion's belt like it was a well-known fact. Yes, they could also see the Bushmen, and many of them liked to watch when the Bushmen were hunting. The strongest of these Bushman hunters was Tabatini, and he didn't like it if anybody watched him. One evening, just before the moon came up, he climbed to the highest peak of the Chimani Mountains and waited. He took his best, a bone-tipped arrow, to shoot it at the watchers. The Bushmen of antiquity had many powers, and they were not scared of the gods from the sky. It was one mighty effort of bow and hunter to get the arrow to reach the moon. Unfortunately, he hit one of the gods in the arse just as he was bending over the cooking fire. This god got such a fright that he burned himself, and that made him really angry at Tabatini. He took one of the pots from the fire and threw its contents at the hunter. This god got such a fright that he burnt himself, and that made him really angry at Tabatini. He took one of the pots from the fire and threw its contents onto the Bushman hunter. It was a pot of melted gold that fell north of the Limpopo River in the land of the Shona people. The brave hunter was running south to get away from the fire that fell from the sky. Next, the fire god grabbed a pot full of copper and threw that at Tabatini, just as he was about to cross the Limpopo River. Bushman hunters then could run as fast as the wind, and the burning copper fell far behind him, north of the Zoutpansberg. Tabatini turned himself into a cheetah and was still running west when a pot of silver flew high over his head and landed on the other side of the mighty Atlantic River. Tabatini turned himself to the Tabatini turned himself into a cheetah and was still running west when a pot of silver flew high over his head and landed on the other side of the mighty Atlantic River. The only effect it had was to turn the hunter south, away from the mountains. This made the god really cross, and he took the biggest and most valuable of his pots, a pot of cold molten iron, and threw that at the hunter. The fire god aimed ahead of Tabatini, where he would be slowed down by the crossing of the Crocodile River. Just to make sure, the god took a second pot of molten iron and threw that just short of the Great Gariep River. If the first pot missed, then surely the second one would hit. Now there was fire all over the sky, and the brave Bushman didn't know which way to run. Just where he was slowed down by the crossing of the Crocodile River, he met his end. The strong, brave hunter was buried under a mountain of iron that to this day is still known to everybody as Kaba Zimbi, Mountain of Iron. Now there was fire all over the sky, and the brave Bushman didn't know which way to run. Just where he was slowed down by the crossing of the Crocodile River, he met his end. The strong, brave hunter was buried under a mountain of iron that to this day is still known to everyone as Kabazimbi, Mountain of Iron. Thank you.